Hello and welcome to my channel. So a while ago I did some renderings for my Instagram channel with this Samus Aran model. I use different renderers, Octane, Cycles and also Redshift. And I thought, why not make a tutorial out of it, just explaining how I did the shader for this Redshift model here. So let's start by importing a model. So I got this model actually from Blend Swap, the Super Metroid model. It's a blend file and I converted it to an FBX. So let's import this one. Just click and drag in. Click on OK. So as you can see, this is the model and it comes with this ball. We don't need that one. Can delete it. And it is already rigged. As you can see, the bones. Let's see if I just grab one of those. Yeah, this is the arm, and let's rotate this one. Yeah, it's already rigged, which comes in very handy. We want to scale it to a real world scale. Right now it's I think too big. So let's drag in a reference model, a figure. This figure has a size of 180 centimeters, so we have to scale this one down. We don't have to, but actually it's better to do that. So let's just group all of those things together and let's scale it down. And if I just gonna go ahead and scale it now, this is happening. We don't want that, so what I can do is I can click and drag, and you can see I got the option to select an object. So if I do that right now, see, everything scales correctly. So let's switch to the front mode, and yeah, let's just measure it by eyeballing it. So I got this handy plugin here. It's called Drop to Floor. It's a free plugin. You should install that one. If I click it, see, the model drops to the floor. And yeah, scale it down even a little bit more, like so. And I think now we're good to go. Delete the figure and just position it to the center. Also here, let's go to the right view. So now it's centered, it's scaled correctly, and we can still use our bones. Let's see if this works. Yes, it does. What we also should do is, if we want to rig it afterwards, we should make sure that all those bones the coordinates are set to 0, because if we want to go back to this state, we would have some problems afterwards. So if I just select everything by just middle clicking on this null here, or let's say this null. See, if I click on the middle mouse button, everything gets selected. And I can go to the coordinates now and go to freeze transformation and say freeze all. So everything is now freezed out. Everything is set to 0 now. So if I just gonna go ahead and rotate this, you can see that we got this position change. But if I go ahead now and say reset to our 0 state by clicking on PSR, see, everything gets resetted to its default state now. Okay, this is good now. So let's go to the texturing part. I'm going to do this in Redshift, and I'm going to delete the materials here. We don't need them. And let's just focus on the head, on the helmet here. So if I select this one and click S, you can see that we got this helmet. Let's call this And you can also see that we got 2 selection tags here. If I click on this one, you can see that the helmet is selected here, and also the glass for the visor here. So this is good. So let's just focus on the helmet. I'm just gonna click and drag it out of this null and just make the other objects invisible. Okay, or actually let's make them visible and just light it. So I'm gonna go ahead and place in a, let's say, a spotlight, for example, and right click on it and say go to Cinema 4D tags and give it a target. The target is the null. So it's looking like that. And I'm just gonna drag it out. Let's go to the top view. Let's do it like this maybe, and put it a little bit upwards. And also give it another light. Let's put in an area light and give it the same tag. Just gonna drag it out and place it maybe here and make it a little bit smaller, for example, to give it a little bit of more of a sharp lighting. Okay. So now let's switch to, in our render settings, let's switch to Redshift. And maybe also enable brute force and irradiance cache, irradiance point cloud for our rendering. And yeah, now we can disable all the other objects except the helmet. And I'm gonna enable the render view, and let's see what we got so far. Nothing so far. I think that because our area light is too low, let's upper the strength. Yeah, now we can see something. And also our spotlight. It's maybe too yeah. Let's lower the area light. Work with the spotlight. Let's go to 20 maybe. That's too strong. 12. Yeah, we will see. Okay, so now let's create a Redshift material and drop it onto the helmet. So it looks like this now. We want this material only to affect the helmet itself, not the glass here. So what we can do is this selection tag here is only for the helmet. So if I select the material and drop in the selection tag to the selection of the material, we get this. Okay, and let's quickly create another material, Redshift material, and in this material, let's open the shader graph. And let's set this material to be a glass. We got some presets here, so you can see. And let's drop it onto, let's drop it to the helmet. And also give it this selection tag. So this is looking good. We can delete these two material tags here, they are empty. And okay, let's make the area light a little bit stronger maybe. Let's give it an exposure of maybe 5. Yeah, okay, this is good. So now to the material itself for the helmet. Let's open up the shader graph. And let's drop in some materials. So I already tested this. Let's put in some rust. I want this helmet to be pretty rusted and decayed. So I'm just gonna click and drag and drop a material in. And let me just go ahead and select a preset from here. Let's select gold. Yeah. Right now we can't see very much because it's too shiny and our lighting is we have not so much things to reflect. So, but we're gonna work this out. I'm just gonna select this one and drop it onto the reflection color. See, can't see very much right now. Let's also drop in a reflection map, and I'm gonna set this to gamma override and drop it onto the reflection roughness. Yeah, now we can see something. And maybe we should set the spotlight even a little bit stronger. Set the exposure up to 15. So just for our texturing part. So let's make this one a little bit bigger. So as you can see right now, this looks very odd because I'm not sure if the helmet is unwrapped correctly. So we can bypass that by just going ahead and let me minimize this one and select our material. By the way, if you don't see the material here, just click on it and it will update to the correct color. Okay, so what we can do now is if we select the helmet material here, I can go to the projection, and right now it's set to UVW mapping, but I can change that. I can change it, for example, to cubic. And it looks like this. This is not correct right now, but we can change the size. And I think this is very handy in Cinema 4D, because if I select the texture tag here, and I go to scale, you can see that right now this is our box projection here, and it is very, very big. It gets projected from the upper, from both sides, from behind and from the lower part here. And I can scale this down. Again, you have to be in texture mode here, or texture projection mode. And if I just scale it down, let me just zoom in a little bit. You can see it gets sharper and sharper and sharper. You see, maybe like so. Yeah. And this is looking good, I think. Maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah. Okay. So this is good. We can also give it a little bit of a bump. So again, go to the shader node and drop in a normal map. When working with normal maps, you have to make sure that gamma override is selected, and also drop in a bump map. And in this bump map, the input map type, right now it's set to height field, but height field is for bump maps, and we are using a normal texture, so we have to select the tangent space normal. And I'm gonna just drop it in here to the texture input and drop this one into our overall bump input. Yeah, so we get this, and it's too strong right now. So in the bump map, I can manipulate the height scale. So let's drop this one down to, let's say, 0.2. Yeah, and see, you can see we get a little bit of a bump, but that's good. So what next? We can go ahead and change the color of this shape here. Right now it's gold. So I can drop in a gradient. No, it's called a ramp. And let me just connect this one. and connect this one to the reflection color. And here, let's say if I put this one to Racy, everything changes to red. I want this one to be like so, and maybe a little bit darker even. Or maybe let's do this at the end, because right now our lighting is too low. So let me just bypass this and just drop in the original reflection texture. Let's keep this one. So we can go ahead and mix another material into this material. If we go ahead and go to the material section, we have this material blender. Just drop it in. And drop this one into the base material. And this one into the surface. Nothing has changed right now, but we can go ahead and drop in another material and blend these two materials together. So in this material, I also want it to be as a gold. And we just go ahead and drop in another texture. So got this rust, and drop this one also into the reflection color maybe. Let's see. Yeah, we can see again not very much. So go to the reflection. I got a reflection map here as well, and let's just enable the gamma and plug it into the reflection roughness, for example. Yes, it's looking good. And also we got a normal map. Enable gamma, and we can just copy this bump map by holding Control and click and drag. Put it into the input and put it into our overall bump input. Yes. So I think that we need more roughness here. So I got a gloss map as well. Let's see if this one works better. No, it doesn't. Well, actually, let's try this one. If I go to material, right now we got a gloss map connected to the reflection roughness. But basically this is wrong because the gloss map is inverted. So what we can do is we can go to advanced and say convert from glossiness to roughness. Let's see if this one works out. Ah, yeah, you can see everything is getting pretty rough. Pretty rough. Let's try to add a ramp. A ramp, yes. And connect the gloss map into the ramp and connect this one into the roughness. Nothing has changed. Okay. And what we can do now is let's play with these values here. This is the wrong one. Yeah, now you can see something is happening. We crunch up the dark parts. Okay, so for my taste, it is too gold. So let's drop in another ramp, connect the plane into the ramp input, and connect this one into the reflection color, and everything is getting desaturated. And also we could maybe just bump up the normal here to, let's say, 0.5. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe let's try something. plug this one into the reflection. See, because in our material, under the base properties, we got this reflectivity and it's set to gold right now. So what we can do is reflectivity. Yes, and this is better. I like this one much more. It's not gold anymore, but we have this rusted paint here. And if I just go ahead and plug the ramp into it, yeah, we can desaturate it. But actually, no, I don't want it to be desaturated. I want it to be the way it is. And just delete the ramp. Delete maybe this one, and I want it to be a little bit more rough. Because we want to mix it in afterwards. Okay, so we can connect this material to our material blender. By just clicking and dragging, and go to layer 1, layer color 1. And if I connect these two, we get our old color back. So not really what we want. First of all, we could play around with the blend color here. If I just set this one to white, we get our second material. If I set it to, let's say, 50%, we got a mixture of both. But there are some cooler options to blend these together. So we can say, let's add in a noise. We can use a noise for mixing those two materials. If I just oh, by the way, I just you should there is this function here. It's called connect node to output, and you can shortcut this one. I got it on Control T. So if I just click on Control T, see that we got this connection here, and it makes it very, very handy to preview nodes, what they do. So let's connect this one to the output, and let's play around with the overall scale of the noise, because right now you can't see anything. Let's put this one to 1 maybe. Yeah, it's still too small. Let's put it to 10. Yeah, we're getting there. Put it to 12 maybe. Okay. So I think we need another gradient. Another ramp, sorry. And plug this one into the viewer, and we can go ahead and just crush the values here together. Until we get a little bit more of a defined parts of black and white. So now if I just connect this ramp into the blend color of our material blender and connect the material blender to the output, we get this. We have parts that are rusted and parts that are like golden here. But there is even more we can do. There is a node, it's called the curvature node. What the curvature node does, just connect this one, you can see that it pronounces the edges. And we got a few options here. So first of all, we have the mode. We can select it. We can choose between convex and concave. Let's select concave, for example. And we get this one here. So what we can do now is we got this noise and the ramp, this one here, and we can control the curvature with this ramp. So I can just click and drag it and go to general and select radius. And if I connect the curvature now, we've got these broken up lines. See that? Maybe just upper the overall scale even more to 20. Yeah. You see this? We got some parts that are affected and some parts which aren't affected. So we can also go ahead and set a set range. We can also go ahead and drop in a color change range. So let's go and put this one into the input. We don't have to do that, but so where is it? Back? This one here. Yeah. I think those two are basically doing the same, but here we have some handles. So I'm gonna delete this one and plug in the ramp into this input, and we can we can pronounce this even more. So the new range, see this? It's basically the same as the ramp does, but yeah, just wanted to show it to you. And maybe even scale the noise even more down to, let's say, 30. Yes, maybe. Plug this one into the radius and the curvature into our output. So, got this. So we got the curvature. The curvature right now is set to concave. We can duplicate this one and set the other curvature here to convex. And also plug in our change range node to the radius. And we're gonna mix these two together. So what we can do is, if we go to color composite, color composite, drop this one into the base color, drop our other curvature. Let's see how this one looks. Okay, it looks like this. Into our blend color. And let's check out the blend color. So right now it's set to base color, which is our first curvature. Let's go ahead and change this one to screen, for example, and we got both. Let's drop in the color composite into our material blender. And let's say it's the blend. No, actually we already got one here. It's the ramp. We can disconnect this one, but just double clicking. Let's drop this one into our layer color 1 blend color, and let's see what happens. Not very much, actually. Yeah, so what we have to do, just tried it, we have to take another ramp and just crank the values of this ramp. See, and we get this look here. We can define how much of the rusted decay on the sides here is pronounced. So again, this color composite goes into this ramp and can crush the values even more. If I just lower it, it looks like this. We got a little bit of a pronunciation here, but if I crank up the values here, you can see that our rusted decay here is coming out even more, if we like so. So that's the basic steps of creating a mixed metal material. I'm just going to open up the other scene file. Basically, it's the same. See, in the suit, I got a noise. Solo this one. I put it to all of those textures here, and I cranked up the values of the ramp pretty high. So we got this. And changed the range, something like this, and put it into a curvature, both of those curvatures, convex and concave, and blended them. Let's see the curvature node, for example. See, we only got these pronounced, and here we got the other side pronounced, and put them together in a composite node with a screen, and then I put in a ramp exactly like I did in the preview, and cranked up the amount, made them very, very near to each other. And again, here we got our material, our gold material as a preset. I plugged in our shader here and put it through a color ramp. I colorized it. Let's see how this one looks. Like so. And got the reflection map also in a ramp, but I think this ramp is useless here. It's just for if I want to change something, but I didn't. So got a normal map and a bump map, exactly the same like I did in the previously. And if I just drop this one into our preview, we get this. And here I got the other material. Again, put in a little color correction here. Let's see. This is our rusted material, and I put it into a color correction, desaturated it a little bit, and got the gloss, inverted the gloss. This is another method you could do this. Yeah. And this is looking like this. I have to turn on bucket rendering. So this is how it looks. And then I put it into this material blender, and it looks like this. I did all those things with the other materials in the scene. Let's see. Just played around a little bit with the color values for all those other parts of the model, and also I got an emissive material for those rings here. Let's check out the emissive material. This is very basic. Just in the overall, I got this as an emission and put the emission weight to something like 1. Next thing was that I imported a plane with a color on it, as you can see here. This one, this is the sky texture again. This is just a diffuse texture put on a plane, and put the diffuse texture into the emission color as well. You can see it here, and put on a little bit of emission. If I just upper this to, let's say 1, see, we get a brighter emission here, but let's keep it at default. And the last step was that I did some lighting. This one here, this is interesting. Got the spotlight, and I also put in a Redshift environment and put the volume scattering to 0.1. And I think, did I play with the face? Let's see. Yeah, I played a little bit with the face. This also affects the volume, as you can see. So let's just undo this. So we got this shine here, and the spotlight I colorized, and in the volume I put on the contribution scale to 1. And I think in the other one, yes, the other one is at the back here, or actually at the side. You see this this one here. This is just to pronounce the edges a little bit more. Then I put in a camera. Let's see which one I used. Oh, I didn't use this one, but this one looks actually also very cool. You can see this the volume scattering pretty good here. And then I just exported this frame and put on some explosion here afterwards in After Effects, and that was basically it. So I hope you learned something, and I hope you liked it. If so, give me a like, comment, follow me, and I see you next time. Bye.